that instinct automatically? Because remember, some of this stuff is genetic. They either have it or they don't, right? This is what it's all about, people. Attack the boy! He must know that I'm in the dog fight with him. I'm next to him side by side. We have a bond that's unbreakable. Don't trip. It's drinks. House of haha. Oh, this goes right here. Yeah. It's been a minute. House of Anubius, aka Valley Doberman. What's going on, man? What's going on? I want everybody to get situated and come in. We'll talk about it. You know, we're supposed to have a guest on today. I'm doing good, man. We're supposed to have a guest on today, but unfortunately, things got worked out with my guest and his breeder. Can't talk about the details, but just to let you know, things got worked out. So the power of social media, who knows? But what I'm going to do, and Jeremy, you can come in too. What I'm going to do something different. I got TikTok right here, and I got you guys right here. No, the breeder didn't get scared. It got worked out. He didn't get scared. They got some stuff worked out. Because remember, this was his suggestion. You know, so all I do is provide the platform. But no, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna take some. It's gonna be some Q&A here, and I'm gonna put a link in the chat right here, and depending on who wants to come on, I'll let you come on and be live with me. But here's the deal: we don't talk about sex, sexual orientation. We talk about sex. We don't talk about sexual orientation. We won't talk about race, and we definitely ain't gonna talk about religion or politics. This podcast is all about animals and how can we as responsible breeders improve that. So I'm gonna put it in right here. That sounds sexual. I'm gonna put it in right here. I'm gonna put the link in right here. We're gonna see what happens. Boom. If you come on, don't come over here with your, you know, in a dark room and all of the goofy shit. I'm not doing that. But I want to say this, people. Thanks for coming into the show. I'm actually on time. But I want to reiterate, they worked it out, and therefore there's no need for Atlanta Dobermans to come on my show. I'm glad that it worked out. I was hoping that it worked out, and things got worked out. With that being said, I want to talk about the importance of importing dogs, but being vigilant, being responsible, doing your homework, people. That's important. Doing your homework. You know, we Americans, whatever race you are, we Americans, we are we get caught up in the looks, the aesthetics. We get caught up in pictures. I mean, we get caught up in so many pictures that even with the Instagram girls, man, they put up some dope ass pictures, some dope ass videos. And I'm not saying I met some Instagram women online and met them in person. I haven't. I mean, I met one, but I didn't meet one where it was planned. I met one where she was in the gym. Her name is Mercedes, and she's here in LA. And usually, bro, the women don't look exactly how they look online, look in person. Now, you know, I say that with caution because most of these Instagram girls are young. So, you know, you don't have Father Time hasn't creeped up on you yet. But I will say this, when you are getting dogs, and that goes for you on TikTok as well, when you are getting animals from any breeder, preferably speaking of imported one, you want to get one from a responsible breeder, but you want to do your homework. I'm going to give you guys steps on what to ask for when people are asking to buy dogs. Okay. When people are selling dogs, that number one, advertising them as IGP 1, 2, 3, ZTP, FH1, whatever, Ring Sport 1, Ring Sport 2, 3, Mondio, ZTP. When they're asking for a certain dollar amount and they're saying that these dogs have this, you need to not just go by the paperwork that they produce. I don't too much care about paperwork. I do and I don't. I care about paperwork when it comes to health, but even that's suspect. After me and Valley Doberman talked about it, House of Anubius, perfect example. Imported a dog. Health test said it was all clear, negative, clear. Tested the dog. The dog had a copy of every goddamn thing, like Xerox. But if you are going to consider getting a grown dog, male or female, and you want to purchase that dog, it's going to cost you about 12 to 20 grand, depending on where it's from, how old the dog is, and how many titles. And that's in euros. That means that if it's 15 grand in euros, it's about 18, 19,000 in American money because the euro's stronger. But if you are talking about buying one, step number one. Step number one. If they're advertising the dogs have titles, ask for videos of the trial. You're not going to sit here and tell me that first of all, putting a BH and an IGP1 on a dog takes about 1.5 years, 2 years to have both of them. First of all, the dog can't compete until he's 16 months old. All right, that's number one. You want to see videos. I don't want to see a photo of a dog doing a bark and hold. I don't want to see photos of the dog biting asleep. Fuck that. I want to see videos. I want to see the fucking judge on the field with her pad doing this shit right here. I want to see that. Because a real breeder is going to want to show these things on a dog that they're proud of. That's facts. I'm going to videotape my boy on the field doing his whole BH motherfucking routine. I want documentation. I want to see my boy on the field when he's doing dumbbell work, jumping over that hurdle with that wooden dumbbell in his mouth. I want to see video. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go a step further. They practice that shit over and over and over and over. Where's some practice videos at showing the routines? Let's play with this. I always say, let's pull it out. Let's see how big it is. Let's play with it. Let's play with it. When you're doing tracking, when you're doing dumbbell work, when you're doing obedience, BH, there has to be videos of the progression. If you go to my page and you see Cisco, who now got a BH, and now Titus is on his way to training for his BH, Cisco's on his way trying to achieve his IGP-1. You see, I put videos of his fucking tracking. You can tell a dog's tracking because they're going to be thinned out, physically thinned out, because the way most trainers do, they thin the dog out. They make him hungry. They don't feed him much so he can work for his food. He knows that every little morsel he gets, that's food. Boom, 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 boom. He gets to the article. He downs an article. Al gives him more treats. Boom. So unless those people are advertising and sending you videos of the dog and his routine, question that heavily. Because training for that type of sport, what Leo will say, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars. And you tell me you're not going to have one video of the dog practicing, one video of the dog doing his routine, one video of the actual trial? That's historic. That's pinnacle. That's paramount. You're going to want to document that because you paid this trainer to do all his work. Now you want to see it actually come to fruition, which is a title. If the breeders have none of that, your spidey senses should be fucking tingling. Number two, everybody knows that photos and images can be altered. I'm not speaking of Atlanta Doberman's dog because none of the photos were altered or anything like that. So this is not in regards to him. You want to see photos of the dog all the way around, but more importantly, you want to see videos of the dog 360. A lot of times, the dog, the best side, and one of my friends had a dog, was a big ass gash on the left side of her body. Every photo he got of this dog was of the right side. Every photo. They didn't show the disfigured side. You get videos 360. You make sure they take a video of the dog mouth being open to make sure all the teeth and molars are in. These are the things, guys, it's gonna be. This is like security guard work. Security guards are a presence. It's a preventative measure. Having a security guard at a jewelry store does not give you 100% security. That, hey, you know what? We're 100% secure. We can drop our guards down. No, that's just a deterrent. So the things I'm telling you are deterrents from people who try to take over you. You got to understand, people, over there in the Ukraine, they're at fucking war. Regardless of the ceasefire shit or not, they're at fucking war. Those people over there, and hope things work out. Those people over there cannot just simply go to the grocery store and pick up some avocados and bananas and shit, or a rack of lamb, without worrying about getting the fuck blown up. So guess what? People not working, poverty is on a high, and they will fuck anybody that looks like you over some money. When people get in desperation mode, they do things that they normally would not have done. Be very careful. Once you get the videos, then you ask for paperwork. Now, I've learned from Eduardo, and we've talked a lot almost every day. Shout out to Vasquez, European Dobermans, and his brother Vasquez, European Doberman studs. They got a nice ass litter right now on the ground where Axel is the father. I don't know why you guys not jumping on that shit, but I'm collabing with them on my page. If you want to get one of Axel's kids from a great female that was imported here pregnant, you better jump on it. Because 2 of my boys are Axel's sons. And you guys already know I'm not missing right now. Can't miss. But we've discussed the different types of titles. And I must say that collectively, I think the ZTP is the best title to have documented on a dog. And I'll tell you why. For ZTP to be achieved, you need not 1, not 2, but 3 different judges. One judge confirmation, one judge for protection phase, and another judge for the obedience. Usually 2 or 3. Now, can they dock that shit up? Can they Photoshop that? Yeah, they can do it, but it makes it more difficult. Again, you want to ask for videos. Don't go off of word of mouth. I know a breeder here in the United States, not in California. This person got a list of dogs on their site. I'm not going to speak what sex this breeder is. And I know for a fact from confirmation that most of this breeder's dogs has fake titles. And some of them have improper or incorrect health testing. We're not going to talk about who. That's not my business. But I can confirm that. But I'm not going there. Everybody does what they do. The reason why I'm the Doberman dog father, because you may not like me, you may love me, you may hate me, you may want to fuck me. Who knows what the case may be? But I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. So if you're gonna import a dog, to me the ZTP is for Dobermans. I don't know about other breeds, but for Doberman, that's the way to go. Again, you want to see videos. Now, when it comes to health tests, what I've learned in this process, shout out to Christine, Consacalinas, Dobermans, my people. Shout out to Micah, who's my connection. When you do it over there in Germany or Eastern Europe, whatever region you want to consider getting a dog from, they're not keen on getting DCM testing done. I know that sounds weird. They'll get the VWD done, but they're not too much jazzed up on getting the DCM, DCM1, DCM2, DCM3 testing done. They go by halter testing, which is the dog wearing a monitor for a day or 2, whatever the hell it is, and halter test. You guys correct me the pronunciation if you want to. They go by that. To me, I told my people, I said, hey, we here in America, we want to go by genetic testing. And then we would do the halter testing years down. We want to know what the fuck we got dealing with right now. That's how we are designed over here in the United States. We're hypersensitive. We want to know what our dogs got genetically. And let's say even we get the DCM testing done, and the dog turn out with no copies. The dog may turn out with a couple of copies, 1 copy, 3, 4, 5 years later, because DCM is a spontaneous mutated gene. So nothing's guaranteed. But one thing for sure, VWD never changes. If a dog is a carrier, he stays a carrier. It doesn't escalate to affected. If a dog's affected, he stays affected. If a dog's in VWD clear, he stays a clear. That doesn't change. House of Nubius. But why breeders not transparent like people would still buy? You know what? You know what, Jay? That is a good question. My guy at House of Anubius Bloodlines, go to YouTube channel, House of Anubius. He's got some great content. It ain't no 30-minute video, but it's very short and sweet. He's using a Sony or, bro, you got a hell of a camera, like Miles. Shout out to Miles Meyer, my videographer, frame banger. But I think the Europeans think that we're looking for a perfect dog. And if we're spending 15, 10, 15, 20,000, 6,000, 5,000, we're not expecting, we have made the money and spent the money that a perfect dog is never going to happen. I can give you my imperfections of my dogs now. You know, you ain't going to get no perfect dog. There's no perfect girlfriend. There's no perfect wife. There's no perfect nothing. But I think to answer your question is, I think they're scared that we're going to not purchase the dog. And in actuality, it's the opposite. We respect you more by being transparent. I bought, you guys don't remember, and Eduardo, aka Lalu. Lalu told me I need to start promoting my boys a little bit more. Cisco, Gaius, and Titus. And I'm gonna start doing that. But you guys got to know, my dogs are always in training, and so it's hard to get Al to be the trainer and the videographer at the same time. But what I'm saying is that I don't even remember. I lost my train of thought. But they don't know that we respect them more if we got a transparent, like, I know why I was going, like my twin brother would say. Instead of my brother, shout out to Greg Antoine, he usually say, you know how black folks have this thing called Ebonics, because I'm bilingual. I speak Ebonics too, and English. So my brother would say, hosek. Now, in English term, that means hold up a second. So hosek for a minute. So this breeder who I bought Gillen and Andrus from, you guys, if you've been following me enough, I bought 2 puppies out of 1 litter, hell of a rate. And I usually don't buy 2 males from the same litter. I usually, guys, buy dogs from different kennels or different litters, same kennel, you know. I bought Gillen and Andrus. Gillen is out, and first of all, Gillis is now with Kansas City PD, and Andrus is somewhere in Michigan. I think probably Detroit, with a guy named Brandon. Brandon never returns my text message, but I know he's impressed with the dog. And when I had the dogs, you know, I didn't like how Gillen was developing, but he was a firecracker. So I sold him. And Andrus, he was a good dog. I was like, this motherfucker may be the one. And I rolled him over in his back. And he had a white spot by his scrotum area, his ball sack. A white spot. Now, to most of you guys, white spots nothing. In the Doberman community, when you're talking about the standard, and you want the dog to be aesthetically 95, 90% perfect, like I said, there's no perfect dog. The one thing that's a complete no-no is a white spot. I don't give a fuck what you guys say, how you say it. You can put a condom on it. White spots are genetic defects, and that's a no-go. So I got rid of that dog. So, but I was transparent about what I saw. He bought the dog for like, I don't know, I sold the dog for fucking $1,000, man, $1,200. And I spent maybe 6 or 7 for both. So trust me, I get rid of a dog quicker than I get rid of an angry girlfriend. You ain't eating another supper in this house. Every time I look at you, it's like I'm wasting money. Every day you eat my Inukshuk food or my The Raw Foundation raw food, you wasting me money. I don't want to feed you, but somebody may love you. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So I don't like white spots. That breeder, you all right, guys? That breeder, he's got Pano right now, people. Pano is growing pains. This motherfucker limping right leg, then it's the left leg, then it's the back leg. So he's going to be a relatively large dog. But that breeder had eventually, this is recent too. 3 or 4 years later, that breeder reached out to me and said, "Hey, Jado, I want to give you a female for free." Okay, all right. Like my sister-in-law would say, "I believe it when I say it." All right, cool. So you guys got to do your due diligence. Also, what you need to do too when you're buying a dog from a breeder that you don't know, most of them are on Facebook. So Facebook friend request them, because if you're trying to buy a dog from them, you're supposed to be family now. You're supposed to be family, right? Usually they accept your friends requests. Start looking at all their friends, and most of their friends are breeders or Doberman enthusiasts or what have you. And still, again, like my man said, from Valley Dobermans, even that is no guarantee. People, we are getting to the point where we need to start. It's okay to import every now and again. But it seems to me importing grown dogs are becoming more and more shakier than a bag of rice, man. I don't know, man. I think CDC kind of fucked it up where they're making us think about shit like it's desperation. Like we got like we having another you guys remember a few years ago, man, people was going to Costco and Home Depot buying truckloads of tissue. Like, God damn, you guys shitting that much? And it's almost like CDC created a sense of urgency to go out and buy grown dogs. Listen, it is. I'm not saying not to do that. I'm saying do your homework. And what's wrong with buying a dog from a breeder here in the United States that has the same bloodline? Well, the problem number one is they're going to ask for premium money because they know that if you import it, it's going to cost you that much more money and more. And you may not get what you want, at least here in the United States. If you wanted to, you can drive there. You can fly there. You can walk there and see the dog in person. Now, a lot of breeders, not all, a lot of breeders, not all, are breeding for the money and not taking an accountability of taking advantage of line breeding or trying to breed for a specific thing, whether it's tangible or intangible. Case in point. Oh, I'm not accepting. I don't know. Thanks for just keep watching me, people. So I'm talking about TikTok here, you know. Eduardo and I, we both agreed that we want to breed for a show, but them motherfuckers got to be able to go. You know, so there's nothing wrong with the dogs looking good, but also working just as good as they look. And I become an expert at this shit, man. Yeah, am I making mistakes? Of course I do. But I've made all the fucking mistakes so you guys don't have to. You go out there and you John Blaze and try to do it on your own without getting with somebody who knows, who's been down that road, you're going to get fucked. You got to get your cherry popped or your hymic broken, whatever that shit is that for virgin. You got to get it broken through for you to understand what not to do the next time. And you're right. There is no guarantees. Reggie Jackson, no grown dogs. I can admit that. You know, somebody asked me the other day, people, would I ever consider buying a grown dog overseas. Not no grown male dog. Why? They're going to fight. They never had a chance to grow together, sniff each other's ass for years or nothing. I would never buy a grown dog, and I have grown male dogs at home. That is, even with puppies that end up growing up to be grown dogs around the dogs that I already have, at least there's a thing called familiarity, right? There's a familiarity involved. And like right now, I could put Gaius and Titus in the same runner together. Now, because I've had accidents before, I'm going to put a bark collar on Titus, and I'm going to crank that shit up. So if Titus tries to act foolish with the puppy, he's going to get a sensation that's going to be very uncomfortable feeling for him. But do I keep them there 8-10 hours? No. Shit happens. Do I feed them together? Fuck no. That is 101 dog ownership. Don't do it. Like Mike Singletary said, can't do it. Won't do it. So don't do that. Once you've done all those checks and balances, once you get the dog that you desire or that you hoped for, like I always do, take them to the vet, get them checked out, get a new microchip, get a fecal sample, start your shots, get another rabies shot done. You don't have to get, because a grown dog, you ain't got to get all those 4 shots, but get the rabies shots done, put it on paper, and the fecal sample will tell everything. A lot of times I would say, my experience, at least 70 to 80% of the time, the dogs that I've gotten from overseas have came back with, when I've done a fecal sample, coccidia or giardia. Yeah, those are very common among puppies. So why wouldn't I get those done and tested for with a fecal sample? Therefore, when I do test and it comes back positive, we can treat it. Therefore, the dog can eat food and the body absorbs all the nutrition. And guess what? He won't be undersized. He won't be eating a shitload of stuff. And he won't be, because dogs can eat all this food and they still look skinny. Well, because they got worms probably too. That's another thing. I deworm all my dogs over again. I don't give a fuck what a breeder tells me. Oh, yeah, we had all this done. See, here's the bottle. Give a fuck about that. That's like back in the day, man. I'm going to give y'all an example. You people on TikTok. Everybody over here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. Growing up in the 80s, I'm 54 next month, we had a thing called the AIDS epidemic. And getting tested for HIV was paramount. Growing up in Mississippi, it wasn't as prevalent, but it was known. It is not uncommon for motherfuckers my age or a little bit younger to ask their potential mate, have you been tested for STD? And it's really not uncommon for both couples, for both the male and the boyfriend and girlfriend, to get tested together before they pull the jimmy off. You know, and I know the jimmy's coming off at some point, but it needs to come off once everything is tested and cleared. What's wrong with getting your dogs tested with fecal sample? That's, your health is number one. This is why I do this with my dogs. What's good for me is good for my dogs. Once you do that, Mississippi, Reggie Jackson, Mississippi, I knew you was from, yeah, I'm born and raised in Jackson. I'm not born and then moved to California at 2 years of age. No, I finished preschool, elementary, junior high. We had a thing called junior high. You motherfuckers call it middle school out here, but junior high in Mississippi was 7th through 9th. Junior high, high school, shout out to Callaway High School, and Jackson State. Shout out to Jackson State University, class of 94, pre-O.J. Simpson era. Getting back, man, you guys be getting me off on tangents and shit. So you do that. Now, again, what I try to do, which I told Fernando at Vasquez Doberman, I said, this dog comes with a ZTP. We're talking about Solo. Solo's a nice dog, folks. You ready for stud service? Get at him. Vasquez Doberman. Solo. I said, let me see if I can get Solo up here. Watch this. Vasquez. So people, so what I told Fernando to do, I said, and I'm trying to share the screen, people. This is informative. I should go live with you guys a lot more. What I said that take him to Al's and get him tested as far as see what he knows, right? See what he knows. So let me go over here. Is it over here? Boom. So I'm gonna go right here. This is Solo, people. So first day out on the field. Look at this shit. This is all natural. He came with this shit already. So this dog, training, done. Title, confirmed. This is a hell of a nice dog. You guys are sleeping on this shit just because you got natural ears. This is Solo's information. You know, that's me. But no, you guys need to check out Solo. Here's his page. So there's a great dog. ZTP confirmed. IGP1. That's interesting. I forgot about that. ZTP and IGP1. So people, what I'm trying to say is do your homework. Get the dog tested to see what the dog knows. Find out from the breeder what language does he knows it in. Right? Find out what language he knows what is in. Once you do that, I know it sounds crazy. If it's a stud dog, correction, let's go to the female. If the female is going to be, all right, guys, if it's a female, get her tested for a UTI or sexually transmitted disease called brucella. UTIs and brucellas will cause a disruption in any dog conceiving, 100%. Same goes with the male dog. Get them tested. This is how you would get them tested. Well, if you get a sperm sample done, first of all stud dogs, that's going to be your face of your dog, face of your kennel, get his sperm put on ice. What on ice mean? Get the shit frozen. Get it stored. These dogs, when they get sick, Dobermans, they're not like Shepherds and Malinois where they can get hit up by a grenade and still walk. Dobermans are sensitive. When they decline in health, they go quick. Get his shit put on ice. But listen, when you're doing that, get a sperm analysis done and see is he fertile? I mean, does he have sperm? Sometimes UTIs can cause a dog to be sterile. Get the sperm checked out. Now, that don't mean you jacking the dog off. That means you go to a reproductive clinic, make sure that they have a teaser up there, because a lot of these dogs are not going to get, not going to be very welcoming of some strange person with rubber gloves grabbing his scrotum and trying to pull out sperm when he's not mentally stimulated. In the porn industry, never been a part of one, they have a thing called a fluffer. So bring a teaser. If you go to a reproductive clinic like Riverside here, SoCal Clinic, they got 1,000 Frenchies coming in every day. They getting either TCI done, AI, surgical, C-section. They got some female up there in heat. That's all you need. Get it done, get it checked out. These are the steps you need to make. Now, when it comes to a solid stud dog, make sure the dog is a rapist. You want your stud dog to be a rapist. What I mean by that? Dogs don't ask permission. May I get on top and mount you, please? They don't do that. They just do what they got to do. Animal instinct. Sometimes female animals get fucked up because the male dog is like, I'm biting the back of your neck. I'm scratching you. I'm chasing. I'm fighting your ass, but I'm taking this ass, right? You want a rapist as a stud dog only because that shows his determination. Now, do you literally want your dog to take advantage of a female dog no matter what circumstance? No. You want it to be controlled. You want to put him in a breeding stand or put him in a very small 6x9 kennel where the dogs cannot be movable. But you don't want your dog running the whole backyard and running acres. And by the time the dog gets up there, she flagged him and she moved her tail to the side. He came and thrust to get it in because he's worn out chasing this chick. Get the sperm checked out. So right now, I'm going to take a few questions and I'm going to read a few comments. And I hope this is informative. Again, shout out to my guy, Atlanta European Dobermans. Follow him. He's a good dude. He's on Instagram. And I think he's on TikTok. You guys are sleeping on TikTok, man. TikTok is like made me money. But you guys need to get on top of your game and understand that nothing, again, is guaranteed. Let me see here. Solo, yeah, he is a solid dog. And you know, it's my thing is I told Eduardo, you got to put him out there. You got to let people see him. Got to let them see him walk around, see his gait, see him be with the family. That's it. Listen, man, people eat that shit up. When they see a dog that is good with kids and family, that's heartwarming. It's very heartwarming. They're like, oh, oh my God. Yeah, come on, people. They eat that shit up. You guys need to showcase. I always say this, and I say this every month to somebody. I said, yeah, sure. There's better dogs than mine out there. Of course. Do I think mine are the best? No. Do I think mine are better than most? Yeah. But what makes mine different from you guys, dogs, is that I say, listen, nobody knows about your dog. You post 1 or 2 pictures every 18 months. How do you supposed to get an audience? That's why you guys see my dogs from puppyhood to adolescence to adulthood. You got to show the maturation process. People, Mr. Beast on YouTube, if you don't know who he has the most following of any YouTuber in the world. And somebody asked him a very simple question. How did you get so many followers? He said, I'm always posting. Post. Create some content. I don't give a shit if the dog's eating kibble, drinking water, looking sleepy. Videotape that shit. To somebody, that's exactly how they want their dog to look. What happens? They start following you. What happens? They start inquiring when you have a litter. You guys, you got to get off your ass. Listen, nobody's doing more shit than me in life than me. I mean, I got so much shit cracking. For those who really know me, know that I wake up at 5:15 in the morning with shit I have to do. And if I can do it, and you only got one job, if that one job, then you can do it, right? Come on, be vigilant. Yeah, it's right. House Anubis. Hey, man. Hey, chime in. I'm sending you this live link. Why don't you go and log in, man? Yeah, but your stud dog has to be a booty bandit, 100%. There's no question. I don't want a dog that, listen, every female your dog breeds to ain't going to be nice and warm. And ain't going like, okay, you can have a little bit. It's not happening. You got some females, they could be ready and ovulating, and they will bite the male dog's fucking muzzle off because they don't know this dog. You got to have a dog that even if he gets fucked up a little bit, he's like, I don't care if my ear is hanging off. I'm getting his ass. This is important. So if you guys don't have any more questions, let me see if somebody on TikTok have questions. I'm on TikTok, people. Follow me on TikTok at European Doberman Stud on TikTok. I love TikTok. You can post puppies online. They won't be knocking your shit down. You know, it's all kind of stuff. Let me see who here. Man, it's a lot of you guys online tonight, boy. Y'all ain't got shit to do but listen to me. Damn. Man, y'all got to get your TikTok game up. I'm going to give y'all a game. Last month, just posting videos. TikTok paid me $1,100. Videos. $1,100. Now, to you, that may not be a lot. To me, every dollar counts. Let me see. I'm up, but ain't got no question. Hold on. Here's one on TikTok. Would love to have you on the show one day. Who is that? Black List Kennel. What? DM me, dog. We can do this. This is how we get each other out there. I hate to say it, but my people, my African-American people, we don't do enough of supporting each other's kennels. I mean, we got to do more of that. We got to do more than that, man. Listen, Joe Rogan, as soon as he put a nobody on his goddamn channel, that person is famous. This is why I implore not only my white brothers, my Hispanic brothers, my black brothers, my brown brothers. I don't care whatever brother color you are. I support you. Come on, invite me. I think I got the podcast bug because of Joe over there at NWA Caney Corso. And NWA don't stand for block with attitudes. It stands for Northwest Arkansas. They reached out to me about a year and a half ago and said, hey, will you be on my show? I said, fuck yeah. After that, it was off to the races. What's up, Doug? So yeah, man, Blacklist, hit me up on, I'm still trying to figure out how to check messages on TikTok because that shit is wild. And I got almost 1 million likes. So it's really hard to figure out which one is likes, which one is messages. But go to my Instagram at European_Doberman_stud and DM me. And we'll make something happen as long as our schedules don't collide. Let me read some stuff here. Shout out to Doug. My man Doug. Doug has always been a supporter. And wow, I'm gonna start reading these questions. So it says, this person right here says, I've learned so much getting my first Dobie, and you still got more to learn. How can I contact you? I have a lot of questions. Reggie, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook page. I'm everywhere, bro. Yep, I'm from the South. Yep, Solo's a solid stud. Y'all sleeping on Solo. Booty Bandit, yep, got to be one. So, Lusky, are you buying? Hell no. I got a stud in the making, and I got 2 studs right now. Let me know if you need some sperm. Got you covered. What do you think about band dogs? Woo! Good question, Reggie. RJ. The only Reggie Jackson I really knew grew up was Reggie Jackson, the baseball player. So I knew you get that joke all the motherfucking time. Band dogs, man, the perfect combination is deadly. And I went to go see K9 Matt. That episode's dropping pretty soon. It's going to be fire. And you get the right band dog with the right combination. You're talking about stealth, speed, and bite pressure and intensity, whether it's mixed with Pit and Mally or Mally and Bulldog, whatever the combination, or Pit or Mally and Caney Corso or Mally and Presser. The motherfuckers sometimes be looking like Canis Panthers, man. It's like they will get at that ass. I like them, but the DNA is all over the place, so you never know what you got. Basically, they're mixed dogs with a bigger head at some point with a very, very strong temperament. What do you really like about the breed of Doberman? They can be house dogs or outside dogs. They're short haired, got a little bit of size. They're very alert. They're Velcro dogs. But it's hard to find one, man, that's willing to work, bro. You got to dig deep. A lot of these Dobermans now are being bred for aesthetics and as a pet. Salute. What's up, Doug? Berto. Can you talk about what's the difference between a Dutch and a Belgian Malinois? A Dutch Shepherd and a Belgian Malinois? So, yeah, basically, a Dutch Shepherd is, you can tell the difference aesthetically because most Dutch Shepherds are brindle colored. They're black with brindle stripes, and their heads can be bigger. Belgian Malinois, they all almost, you get some that have the dark red. They may sometimes have a white spot on their chest, which is acceptable in that breed, and they have the black mask. Those are the indicators. But sometimes you can breed both, and you can get half Dutch and half Belgian. That's really weird for me. I'm a purebred guy, even though all purebreds started out as a mixed breed. Let me see if we got anything on TikTok, and then we're going to get the fuck up out of here. So people, listen, I'm about to get up out. What's this right here? You have us waiting forever for the YouTube video. Yeah, man, listen, Matt is one of the trainers that I've been trying to book since last year. And up until this year, he was able to get an indoor facility with outdoor access. And he wanted me to wait until everything was dialed in. The guy has an extended family out there, and they stick the fuck together. And they support each other. It's called the Jersey Canine Club. And they're a family out there, bro. And they work each other dogs. They're part of this. They do this sport called APBAB, whatever it's called. And they breathe that shit. This is their outlet. This is what they love to do. And some of them get paid for this shit. And when I went out there, man, Matt has so much swag. He has so much knowledge. What I'm trying to do, people, is I'm trying to get Matt out here to do a collab with South Bay Malinois. Psych. Matt and Psych on the same field, collaborating about different training techniques. They can all learn from each other. Psych don't know everything. Matt don't know everything, but they're definitely willing to learn from somebody who is teachable. And I think so. I'm waiting to do the collab. Matt said that will happen. I said, let me know. Get the money together, and I'll send your ass out here with your crew. So that's going to happen. House of News. What is your biggest advice for new Doberman owners? Good question. Do your research on the breeder. And then when you do your research on the breeder, hit up some of the people that the breeder has sold dogs to. And you'll know because they're tagged on some shit. Ask them how they love their dogs. Hear from the people who spent money. Don't listen to the breeder when he tells you what he's got. Figure out what you're looking for. Are you looking for a dog that is a docile Doberman? Or do you want a dog that has high energy? Some of these dogs come with high energy that when you get the dog after 6 months, you realize why you don't have no grass in the backyard. Dobermans run everywhere. They don't walk. They run. They trot. And like most males and females, your grass is going to be done with urine. because that has ammonia in there. So do your research by asking the people who bought dogs from them, more importantly, before you ask the breeder about their dogs and what they have to offer you. And then figure out, are you willing to commit your life of taking care of a living, breathing creature that is codependent on you for the rest of their life? Like everything you do has going to be centered around this animal. When you go out of town, when you go on vacation, when you go to the store, when you go to work, it's centered around this animal that is now codependent on your existence. Do your research. We get returned dogs every year. Oh, I'm going on vacation. I don't, the dog doesn't like my mother's cats and shit like that. Well, understood, but you made a commitment to this animal when you bought them. Oh, I want 10,000. Good luck. You're not getting a lot of money for a dog you're trying to get rid of, because we don't know what kind of bad habits you have put in this dog. Bad habits are hard to reverse. So do your research. All right, people, that's going to be it for me. I'm glad you tuned in. And hopefully I get another guest on here. We talk about some other good shit. I don't like doing podcasts about breeders or people who, or breeders or kennels who buy dogs overseas and there's an issue. I don't like those kind of shows. But people need to have a voice. I think the time is now over where people are getting fucked from overseas with no recourse. Them days are done, son. Social media is real. Until next time, people, be vigilant, but be responsible. Take care.